Well, Atlassian just announced they were laying off 1,600 jobs, 10% of their global workforce. Why? Because of AI, guys. It's time and time again, we keep seeing this. But what's shocking to me is how many people are in disbelief who feel like this can't happen to me. Well, today, guys, we're gonna go over these layoffs, who it's impacting, why it's happening, and essentially how to stay safe during this AI age, how to remain relevant, respected, and financially free. We're gonna get into it. First, let's cover who this company is. So Atlassian is an Australian-based company, essentially known for cloud-based tools like Jira, Confluence, and Trello. They develop different software solutions, project management, team communications, etc. They work with over 300,000 organizations. They're a big deal. They create a lot of software. The reality, though, is that the tech space is completely dominated by AI right now. And by the way, I know there's a lot of people talking about it now, which I love. I've been talking about this for a long time. It's like I've tasted AI a few years ago, and it completely transformed my business, actually put one of my projects out of business, changed the way that I hire. It changed everything for me. And the world's waking up, guys. And again, if you're a subscriber to the channel, you're in the top 1% of knowing what's coming for other people. Regardless, AI owns the tech space. And as soon as they announced these layoffs and why they were doing it, they saw a stock bump. Their stock investors responded. The company shares rose about 2%, which was a change that we're going to talk about in a moment because their stock has been tanking, absolutely tanking. More on that in just a moment. But basically, they said they have planned to, quote, rebalance their resources to focus on the future of teamwork in the AI era. And they're putting their money where their mouth is, guys. If you go to their company homepage, it says AI. You see AI everywhere. Like their top banner says AI. You see AI about 3 to 4 times above the fold. And I just kind of scrolled down. I saw the word AI listed 13 times on the home screen. It's all over their home screen. It's like if you wanted to do search engine optimization for AI, like Atlassian's doing it, it's almost kind of comical when you look at it. Anyway, the CEO, Mike Cannon-Brookes, told their employees, quote, "Our approach is not AI replaces people, but it would be disingenuous to pretend AI doesn't change the mix of skills we need or the number of roles required in certain areas. It does." And, he kind of says the quiet part out loud right there in what we've been kind of screaming, what channel subs have been screaming for, gosh, almost a year now. AI changes, it changes everything, guys. And, the problems that you've solved in the past are not the problems you're going to be solving in the future because AI is going to be solving a lot of traditional problems. It's just everything's going to be different now. Everything is going to be different. The problems you've solved in the past are not the problems you're going to solve in the future. And the question that we all need to be asking ourselves is, well, based on my skill set, based on my relationships, what are the problems that I'm going to be needed for in the future? If I'm a man trying to remain relevant, respected, and financially free during the AI revolution, what does that even look like? What are the problems that I'm going to need to solve? Anyway, let's keep kind of going into this because it just gets better and better, as I sarcastically say. So everyone at every organization really needs to be looking at AI as an employee they manage. And I think this is the biggest shift for me in 2026. Historically, I've looked at AI as like a tool that I would use, and I use probably a dozen, maybe even more tools in different projects last year. Everything from Cast Magic to ChatGPT to Fathom to Notion to Descript to Riverside, tons and tons of different AI tools last year. But this year I'm shifting my focus, and I think this is the shift, guys, that we need to be looking at. It's not so much about what AI tools do you use, it's what tasks are you replacing with AI, right? This is the year where we stop looking at AI as a tool and we start looking at AI as an employee. This is the mindset that's happening. This is where companies can get off firing like this. I'll give you an example. Last night, I integrated Claude Cowork into a client's tech stack, into Google Drive, Slack, HubSpot, other different pieces of the tech stack. And what I did is I pulled up all the top performing social posts, all the top performing emails. And we found hooks that overperformed. It gave a strategy on how to implement different types of messaging, brand voice that we can improve upon, and just look for all these trends. And that, guys, is work that probably would have taken me a few hours of my own time to kind of go through. Instead, I just integrate it, I ask Claude, and it goes to work. And by the way, I can watch it working on my screen, on my computer screen. So on one screen, I'm working, I'm responding to emails, I'm doing strategy. On the other screen, I can see Claude going through HubSpot, segmenting out posts. I said, the first response it gave me on emails was a little bit, it was factoring in emails I didn't want factored in. So I said, hey, go in and look at only emails that have been delivered to 500 or more people, So anyway, I got deeper and deeper. I found it actually very, very insightful on our social media strategy. And guys, if you're new here, I'm in marketing. I do marketing, customer acquisition. Later today, I'm gonna be implementing Claude into all of our ad spend, see how we can optimize our ad spend through Google Ads, through Meta Ads. We're gonna be looking at all the hooks that are working on YouTube. We're just doing a lot of different stuff. But again, this is work that would have either cost me time, or I would have needed to hire someone to do it. Now, I'm using Claude as my personal assistant, as my employee, to be my social media strategist, to be my email copywriter, my social media copywriter, to help improve and iterate on our content calendar for the year, all of this stuff. And again, I'm giving you personal examples, but I would encourage you, even if you're not in marketing, to be thinking about this. Like, what are tasks that I'm doing daily on the computer that I could just have an AI employee do? And that's the way I think we need to be thinking going into 2026. All right, and by the way, just a quick side note, a couple of weeks ago, and I'll post a link to the video here, I covered the Challenger and Gray layoff report, jobs report for February, and there was a pretty shocking stat in there, and that's the increase in the proportional increase in how many companies are blaming AI on layoffs. In 2024, about 2% of layoffs were attributed to AI. Last year in 2025, 5% of layoffs were attributed to AI. Now in 2026, 10% of layoffs have been attributed to AI. And we are only in March, guys. Like, that number could be as high as 15, 20% of jobs laid off in response to AI. I mean, who knows what it could look like in the future? Like, we're starting to see kind of a shift in the moment. And just by the way, hold that thought. We're gonna cover that a little bit more, because there is some smoke around. Well, they're not firing people because of AI. That's just a smoke screen. That's an excuse to lay off. And we're gonna cover that theory in a moment, because I think that there is some validity there. Because the reality, guys, is that AI is all absolutely reshaping our workspace, but it's also absolutely disrupting tech. And again, last month, we covered in a video, I'll post a link to that video here, we talked about an insane $1 trillion wipeout of the stock market due to an update that Claude had. AI is really giving company investors the jitters right now. There's a lot of fear in SaaS right now. I do marketing for SaaS companies, so I understand this. We just don't know what AI is going to bring. There's a lot of volatility, right? And there's a few reasons for that, right? People don't want to pay for tons of features and tons of seats that they don't use. And I don't want to call out software by name that I'm kind of ticked at, but I will tell you, last year I deleted some very expensive software because I was paying for all this crap that I didn't need. And the theory moving forward is that people aren't going to need to pay for these big, huge, robust softwares anymore, because they're just going to use AI to create their own small niche solutions to problems that they have. And you can do this. I've done this. I've seen people do it. I've talked to people that are doing it right now. Are those going to scale out and you're going to make $100 million selling a SaaS product if you're just vibe coding? Probably not. But you probably could make a small, secure, relevant software in-house that saves you hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars a month. I know guys that are doing it. I talked to a guy just last week who's doing really well in email marketing and whatnot. He said, Mark, I used AI to create softwares that I use in-house, and I was able to save $1,000. He deleted $1,000 in monthly subscription costs in order to, and he just built out his own software in-house, saving $1,000 a month. That's a pretty big deal when you're a startup or a small business owner. That said, we don't know exactly how this is going to play out right now. And I just want to touch on this real briefly. There's two different potential solutions. One solution is that I mentioned before, everyone's just going to be building out their own in-house small AI niche solutions. The other way this could potentially play out is people build out these AI agents. For example, Claude Cowork is one that I'm big on. I'm using OpenClaw was another big one. I'm not really too convinced about the security stuff there, but Claude Cowork was what I'm looking at. And what we're seeing, the other way this could play out is that, well, you'll still keep all the different stuff in your tech stack. You're just not gonna need that many seats because you're just gonna use your AI assistant to go in and manage that software for you. So that's another way this could go. We don't know. Regardless, SaaS is pretty exposed based on the number of features and the number of seats that they have. Have you ever done that before where you pay for this expensive software? I don't know, it's $100 a month, $200 a month, $500 a month. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm only using 10% of it. Ugh, it just feels so gross. Feels so gross. And this is not just speculation. This is having a market effect on companies. I'm gonna give you some stats here. Since March of last year, Salesforce down 20%, Asana down 55%, Monday is down 70%. That's crazy. And Atlassian has lost more than half of its market value since the start of 2026. And this is the other reason why people are saying that companies are blaming AI. They're not really blaming AI. AI is not the real reason. The real reason is their company sucks, they're not making money, and they need to fire a bunch of people, but blaming it on AI makes them look better, makes them look more innovative. It's a good signal to investors. And in this case, their stock did increase 2%. So, maybe that stems the bleeding. I get that. I did an entire video on this a few months ago as I kind of researched it. It doesn't always hold true. Sometimes it does work, sometimes blaming AI works, but it doesn't always work. I found it is about 50% of the time giving AI as the reason for your layoffs will work. And it certainly does sound better than, guys, we are bleeding subscribers, we are bleeding monthly recurring revenue, and we need to stem it. We're going all in on AI. We're gonna trim people to, we're going to trim expenses in order to fuel our AI investment. It certainly sounds better to investors. But as I mentioned, the markets don't always react. I think the reality, guys, here is we kind of summarize this and look at actually who's being fired, is that AI changes everything. It really does. Every person, every level, every organization. And even if you aren't directly impacted by layoffs, you could certainly feel the impact from a bloated job market where you're putting out 200, 300 applications and getting 0 interviews. I know there's some of you out there, I've seen the comments, I've looked at the data. The job market is crazy right now. It's crazy right now. Companies are what we saw in February is that, I think I covered that in a video a couple weeks ago. But what we saw in February is that companies aren't necessarily firing as much, but they're not hiring as much either. So you've got this like stalemate where companies, at least in February, not looking to hire. It's a slow market. That said, I think there are some things you can do to get hired. I'll cover that in just a moment. Anyway, who's getting fired at Atlassian? 40% of the layoffs will be US based, 30% Australia, 16% India. So US-based employees, most at risk. Primarily going to hit software research and development roles. That's approximately 900. The rest that we're going to see are people that are in teams that are not focused on AI implementation and administrative/operational roles. If you don't have as many developers in your organization, you're just not going to need as much admin as well. And again, the big push this year is, hey, let's not replace assistants with humans, let's replace assistants with AI, and let's force our teams to do that. In fact, we covered that in a video yesterday. I'll post a link to it here, where Amazon is firing tens of thousands of white-collar corporate jobs and basically telling the people to the left, use our AI or GTFO. They're not the only company saying that either. There's several that we've covered on this channel, and subscribers probably could quote them by name in the comments below. They probably will, because we have the best community on the internet right now. The safest positions. Who are going to be the safest positions? The safest positions are going to be, at least in Atlassian, are going to be the enterprise sales positions. Positions that are very customer focused, very relationship based, higher ticket, longer sales cycle. And I think moving forward, I covered this in a video a couple days ago about financial advisors and Morgan Stanley laying off a bunch of employees. They're not laying off financial advisors. So the roles that are going to be most safe are going to be roles that are relationship based, that are forward facing. That is, and I feel like I just preach this day in, day out. Relationships, guys. Get on your phone, call someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Instead of popping on Pandora or whatever, instead of popping on the radio, after you watch this daily podcast, I'm bringing you a fresh episode 6 days a week. After you've watched this, call someone on the phone you haven't spoken to in a while that you respect. You don't know when that relationship is going to need to pay off. And the biggest question that I ask myself right now, so A, be relationship based, but the biggest question, and this is kind of the theme of this year for me, and it's certainly for this episode, is what AI employees do I have working for me now? Not what AI tools, like, sure, I use ChatGPT to do research and to help write scripts and stuff like that. That's great. That's cool. That's a tool. But what can I ask AI to do for me? Walk away, grab a coffee, and come back, and it gets done. Because that's when we start to get the economies of scale. And if you can get that working for you this year, you're going to become very, very valuable, not just to your organization, but to other organizations. There is this idea that I don't want to use these AI tools. I don't want to train these AI tools to replace me. But that's exactly what we want to do. I know it sounds counterintuitive, and maybe in the long run, that's off. But I want to train AI to replace me. Because if I can train AI to replace me within my organization, please believe I can go to another company down the street and tell them I can do the same for them. That is where I want to be. That's where I want to be. I want to be replacing all my work with these AI tools and these automations. That's where my focus is. And right now, Claude Cowork is the place to be. Guys, if you like the video, smash like, smash subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, it's raining. I'll see you. Peace.